Great day and good morning everyone. I am Yuri Bayawan and our lesson for today is all about sexuality. So what is sexuality? Well, there's a lot of things involved in sexuality, like how we feel, how we act, how we move, and how we look outside our appearance, and our relationship with family and friends. Well, actually, sexuality starts before a baby is born. Nasa sinapupunan pa lang tayo na experience na natin yung sexuality. Like because sexuality is start before a baby is born. In what ways? Yung example, yung nasa sinapupunan pa lang tayo ng ating ina. Yung mga tao na nasa paligid or outside, tinatanong nila kung ano yung gender natin, yung identity, yun, kung pinipredict nila kung lalaki ba tayo o babae. Ganun. And next is, why sexuality is important? Well, because sexuality is something that impacts everyone in their whole lives. In what way? The clothes we wear, sa mga damit na sinusuot natin, the way we communicate, the way we make chores sa mga gawaing bahay, and the way we move or act. But also remember that sexuality is not just the way we show or what we act. But remember also that sexuality is what they make you feel. So overall, sexuality is experienced in a lot of ways, from childhood to old age, by means of body through rules in life, by means of beliefs, and through relationships. Okay, so there are two theories of sexuality. We have the nature and the nurture. When we say nature is a theory of sexuality, which is it can be determined through genes. When we say genes, it is an unchangeable blueprint in you from birth. Kung ano kapag panganak, yun na yun. For example, if you have a penis, you are a boy. If you have vagina, you are a girl. So yun na yung sex mo o yung sexualidad mo. The second one is the nurture. When we say nurture is a theory which the environment makes you. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano yung nakapaligid sa'yo o yung nakaka-influensya sa'yo. For example, you are a boy, but you're dressing like a girl. So, it means, nagde-dress ka ng pang-girl kasi yung nasa paligid sa'yo o yung nakakahalubilo mo o yung nakaka-influensya sa'yo is puro mga girl. And now, let's proceed to sexual concept. So first, we have the gender identity. Gender identity means a person's internal sense of whether they're male or female, both or neither. It means a person's internal deeply held sense of one's gender. Gender identity is not visible to others. Why? It is because gender identity is your personal sense of one's own gender. It is your gender preferences no matter what happen. Kung ano yung nafe-feel mo, kung ano yung nararamdaman mo, o kung ano yung naiisip mo na uri mo dito sa mundo. For example, ako, yung gender identity ko is I'm a straight male. Yung iba is bisexual, gay, lesbian. It depends on how you will accept yourself. So that is gender identity. So next, we have the gender expression. Gender expression, a person's gender is expressed outwardly through their names, pronouns, clothing, haircut, behavior, voice, or body characteristic. For example, si Vice Ganda, ang gender identity niya is feminine, pero ang sex niya ay male, kasi ang external genitalia niya ay may penis man siya. So, ang gender identity niya is gay. How Vice Ganda express himself? Si Vice Ganda ay isang cross-dresser. Minsan, nagdadamit siya ng panlalaki, pero kadalasan pambabae. Even sa voice niya, binago-bago niya, kadalasan pambabae, minsan panlalaki. And that's how Vice Ganda express himself. That is gender expression, how you demonstrate yourself. So, next is gender orientation. Gender orientation is an enduring pattern of romantic sexual attraction to persons of opposite sex or gender. The same sex, gender, or both sexes, or more than one gender, or minsan wala ka pang nagugustuhan. It is very important to know on who you are really attracted o kung kanino ka talaga nagkakagusto. The best example of this again is si Vice Ganda. Ang gender identity ni Vice Ganda ay gay. Ang gender expression niya ay minsan cross-dresser siya. Ang gender orientation ni Vice Ganda ay homosexual. So what is homosexual? And now let's talk about the different kinds of sexual orientation. So tatlo lang yung ibibigay ko kasi yung iba itatapik na ng mga kaklase ko. So first, we have the heterosexual. People who are heterosexual are romantically and physically attracted to member of the opposite sex. So it means male attracted to female or female attracted to male. The best example of this is our parents and our lolas and lolo. So the second one is bisexual. People who are bisexual are romantically and physically attracted to member of both sexes. So, halimbawa ako, na-attract ako sa lalaki at na-attract din ako sa babae. Nagkakagusto ako neither sa lalaki or sa babae. And the third one is homosexuality. Homosexuality is romantically attraction, sexual attraction, or sexual behavior between member of the same sex or gender. Kapwa babae o kapwa din lalaki. Example ako, I'm a straight male. Tapos, yung nagugustuhan ko din is a straight male. That is homosexuality. So, lastly, we have the biological sex. Our biological sex is what we are born with in terms of chromosomes, hormones, and sex characteristic. A newborn with XX chromosomes and usually has female and sex reproductive organs is usually biologically female. A newborn with XY chromosome and usually has male sex and reproductive organs is assigned biologically male.
There are 6 steps to happiness. First is desire to be happy. Kung gusto mo maging masaya, naisin mong maging masaya. Step 2, find what makes you happy. Hanapin mo kung saan ka masaya, focus on it. Step 3, pull the happiness trigger and be happy. Step 4, eliminate joy stealer and avoid being unhappy. So, pabayaan natin yung mga bagay na nakaka-distract or making us stress and just be happy. Step 5, bounce back from a tough situation with faith, hope, and enthusiasm. So, if you are encountering or suffering from a problems, just bounce back with faith. Always remember na may God tayo natutulong sa atin. And lastly, choose to be happy always.
So the body, sexuality, and the self. Focus on the body. A vital aspect of one's identity is the sexual, encompassing biological, physical, and emotional and social domains. Those are the areas of a person's life wherein we tend to give so much importance. While it is initially rooted in the distinguishing physical attributes found in men, which is the penis, and women, which is the vagina, bodily transformations and development of secondary sexual characteristics during adolescence would eventually trigger physiological response, leading to beliefs and behavior associated with sex. So adolescence, this is the stage that sets the tone for the gender of one's sexuality, his or her thoughts and behavior in order to make responsible choices concerning one's sexual self. So this is the stage wherein most young adults tend to be confused about their identity, their sexual orientation. Therefore, in my own viewpoints, it is very important for a young adult to have a stronger foundation about sex education and also enough information in order for them to make responsible choices in the future. So So, sexual self, the biology of sex. So, sex is at birth a biological feature that distinguishes males from females. So, the following are the secondary sexual characteristics, which includes for male, the outgrowth of facial and bodily hair. Next is the emerging of Adam's apple, deepening of the voice, and muscle development. They also possess a hormone which we call testosterone. And for female, the onset of menarche, which is the first menstruation, and noticeable changes in the hips, breast, and skin, because skin tend to be lighter for women who are already on the stage of adolescence. So women also possess a hormone which we call estrogen, and at this stage women and men are already capable of procreation. Men tend to produce sperm, and women are already capable of producing eggs. Next is the 4 phases of sexual response cycle. First is the excitement. Second is the plateau. Third is the orgasm, and fourth is the resolution. And completing the cycle would most likely lead to sexual satisfaction. In men, it is natural for them to experience erection during an arousing moment. For women, vaginal lubrication, which is wetness, is the likely response. If sexual arousal is satisfied through sexual intercourse, men would experience ejaculation while women would reach orgasm. So the refractory period is the period of rest after ejaculation. It is likely to be longer in men, while women can achieve multiple orgasms due to a shorter refractory period after intercourse. So during adolescence stage, it is common occurrence to watch and read pornographic materials, engage in kissing, petting, and perform masturbation, which is an act of stimulating one's genitals for sexual pleasure. These are the way of satisfying their urges. So medical professionals stated the health benefits of masturbation. This includes stress relief, better sleep, improved self-esteem, and enhanced body image. Further, masturbation is better alternative to sexual intercourse, which may lead or result to unwanted pregnancy and acquiring STI or sexually transmitted diseases, which are the matter where most of the young adults are not yet ready for.
Sexual orientation and gender identity. So G for short. The flow of my report is, first we will know the meaning of sexual identity, followed by the gender identity, and to tell the last what is their difference. So let's start. So sexual identity is about how you see and express yourself sexually. We all know that all of us fall in love. There are people we want to go out with, or we want to have sexual relationships with. So today I'll be sharing 5 types of different sexual identity. First is we go to the heterosexual. The heterosexual is the people who are attracted to the same sex, the opposite sex, and the gay is the people who is attracted to the same sex, and then the bisexual is for those people who were attracted to either male or female, even though they are male or female themselves. They could be either the word bisexual. They have double type of sexual identity. They can either be male or female. And the pansexual, they are sexually attracted to any kind of any kind of genders, or they attracted to either opposite sex or either gay or whatsoever. I think in the pansexual is people who have the sexual identity is attracted to the personality of the people or the person they are attracted with. And sexual is for those people who aren't sexually attracted to any people at all. That's all. Gender identity is about how you experience your own gender. It might sound simple, but it's quite difficult than you might think. There are 5 different kinds of gender identity that I'll be showing to you at my presentation. First is the multiple genders. People who believe at supernatural stuff, like natives, they believe that they had multiple genders. I'm not quite known about these multiple genders or the natives because their belief is very difficult to understand for me because I'm not a native. But I believe this is the one their ancestors wanted to pass for their generations. This belief that they had multiple genders. So what is their difference? Sexual identity is about who we're emotionally, physically, and romantically attracted to. And the gender identity is about how we see ourselves in terms of gender.
Everyone, I am Sweet Hazel Dupitas. I'm going to report the consequences of sexual choice. So what is sexual intercourse? Sexual intercourse is a sexual contact between individuals involving penetration, especially the insertion of an erect penis into a woman's vagina, typically culminating in orgasm and the ejaculation of semen. So, sexual intercourse is the act of couples who want to have a baby and to make love. So, what are the consequences of sexual choice? These are the teenage pregnancy and having STD and HIV. What is teenage pregnancy? Teenage pregnancy is a pregnancy in a woman 19 years old of age or younger. A woman can get pregnant if she has a vaginal sex with a man in any age after she began having regular monthly periods. So, pwede nang mabuntis yung babae kapag nagkaroon na siya ng buwan ng dalaw or regla. And kapag nabuntis ka 19 years old or below, we can call it as a teenage pregnancy. Most teenagers who have sex with their partners often rationalize the act of claiming they love each other and they are ready to be committed to each other. So, nowadays, most of the teenagers are engaged in premarital sex. Sinusuko lang nila yung kabataan nila just to prove their love to their partner, which is mali yun. Pag mahal mo talaga yung partner mo, matuto ka mag-antay para sa time na yun. However, if a woman is fertile during the time of intercourse, pregnancy is likely to occur and will last approximately 9 months before the birth of child. So, kapag fertile yung babae at nakipag-sex siya sa partner niya, mas malaki yung chance na mabubuntis siya. At yung pagbubuntis ay magtatagal ng 9 months bago panganak yung bata. There are physical risks of having early pregnancy that may impact in the adolescent development, including the risk of miscarriage, emotional stress, and having risk of both mother and infant. So, kapag nabuntis ka ng mas bata, yung katawan mo is hindi pa matured. So, pwedeng malaglag or hindi maganda yung pagkakapit ng bata. Pwede siyang malaglag and pwede kang ma-stress. Hindi lang naman yung babae yung maapektuhan sa pagbubuntis kasi pati na rin yung lalaki kasi kapag same silang student, need talaga nila mag-stop mag-aral para lang alagaan yung baby. Yun. Aside from pregnancy, another consequences of sexual intercourse is the risk of having STD. Consequences of sexual intercourse is the risk of acquiring sexual transmitted disease. This sexual transmitted disease, while most of them can be treated and cured, may have long-term consequences to one's health. STD is passed by means of exchange of body fluids or genital contacts. So you can get an STD through saliva. Among the common diseases are syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and genital warts. Symptoms of this sexual transmitted disease includes the burning sensation during urination, warts and sores in the genital and mouth area, abnormal and smelly discharge, genital irritation, and painful bowel movements. The most alarming sexually transmitted disease is the human immunodeficiency virus or HIV. It is a virus that can be transmitted by anal, oral, or vaginal sex with the infected person, as well as through breast milk during childbirth and by coming into a contact with the blood of HIV positive person. Untreated HIV can lead to AIDS, which comprises the immune system and put the person at risk of illness and death. It is in its early stage, HIV has no symptoms. So, AIDS is the most dangerous disease when you have unprotected sex. Once the illness has progressed, the first symptoms may include fever, rashes, and sores. In its final stage, a person with AIDS may suffer from variety illness including pneumonia and cancer. At the moment, there remain no cure for HIV and AIDS. So far, there has no cure for HIV and AIDS, but merong mga painkillers. How does one acquire a sexually transmitted disease? It is prevalent among individuals who engage in unprotected sex with multiple partners. So, STD can develop through unprotected sex with multiple partners. Irresponsible sexual behavior often result in dire consequences that have significant impact on people's lives in the future. Aside from health risks associated with sexually transmitted disease, it may also ruin relationship, create a negative stigma against people with STD, and disrupt school and employment. Thus, it is important that an adolescent should make responsible decisions with regard to their sexuality and sexual behavior. Responsible sexual behavior entails the following: respect for one's body. This would mean taking care of one's body and avoid activities that undermine one's worth and respect. So we need to respect each other's body and health. Also, avoid some activities that are not good for us. Maturity in thoughts and deeds. This would refer to being objective, rational, and calm instead of being swept by one's emotion. Being guided by one's personal belief and core values. An adolescent should always be grounded by his personal principles and self-worth. Being future-oriented instead of focusing on the present, always weigh your actions now with possible consequences in the future. Sexual pleasure might be overwhelming at the moment, but always focus on what will entail in the future. To think carefully in making our decisions in life, whether it has a good effect in our future, but also do not be tempted by the pleasure, just wait for the right time. We're done with topic of consequences of sexual choice. Next is the obsessions to have a beautiful face and body. First is the tragedy of Michael Jackson, endless survey to alter face. So we know that Michael Jackson has changed his face for him to boost his confidence and to satisfy himself. Next is the demand for cosmetic surgery, skin whiteners, etc. Artists undergo surgery to make them more even beautiful. But also, some of us are using bleach soap for us to, because we want to be presentable and beautiful in people's eyes. Next is eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa and bulimia. Malnutrition among young women due to improper way of eating. Our bodies to be beautiful, but our way of eating is wrong. We must know the right amount of what we eat every day for us to be healthy. That's all. Thank you.
Golden ratio, the perfect face. It's rather impossible to achieve the golden ratio, but people still wait for it. Some are not satisfied with the way their parents look like and are attracted to more beauty people. For me, more importantly, the application of the golden ratio to beauty refers only the physical beauty of what defines true beauty in humans. There is saying beauty as only skin deep. Physical beauty is fleeting and passes with time. Other qualities of the mind and soul are the substantial of true beauty. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. It is, but is a big challenge to us educators or parents to indicate inside that outside plump, skinny, just right, sexy or chubby, as long as a fashion industry dictates what is beautiful. Be it for man or woman, youth can never be satisfied with their bodies. Every culture will have standards of beauty. Medieval age at some tribes, chubby, plump for Hollywood and local showbiz. Actors and actresses are skinny, six packs, abs for men. There is saying beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. What one individual considers beautiful may not be beautiful to others. To me, beauty is not only something that pleases the eyes, but also pleases the other senses and the mind. I think true beauty makes you see beyond the lovely sight. It will give you insight or realization of something interesting beyond just the outward appearance. Body art and status symbol, practicing tattooing, scarification, piercing, and body painting. For me, body art is any kind of addition to one's appearance for status purposes. Body art is believed to be beautiful by the beings who wear it. When individuals decide to decorate their body, it becomes a part of their identity. Any unwanted alternation to an individual's would not be considered body art. Those could be considered body markings.